salad or whatever. A little louder for everybody. Cool. All right. Can everybody hear this? Okay, all right. Let me know if you can hear this. Are you having fun today? Awesome, awesome. All right, well, welcome to Swan Lake State Park. My name is Matt Weitrich, and I am the Naturalist here at Swan Lake. And this is the 5th year we've been doing this carnival. Who's been here before? All right, lots of repeats, offenders. Awesome. Well, who's here for your first time? Awesome, very nice. Well, we're doing lots of fun stuff today. Games, prizes, food, birds of prey, lots of neat things. We are doing some things too. Hopefully you're picking up on some of the things like growing your own food or purchasing food from local growers. These are things that Earth Day is all about, and thinking about good conservation practices all year round. So hopefully you've been kind of reading some of our signs around, because we've got information here. Easy things you can do with your family. Okay, so I like to think of Earth Day as sort of like New Year's Eve, New Year's Day for the new resolutions you're going to make. So you can think of Earth Day tomorrow as some new resolutions you're going to make for good conservation practice, because this is it. We get one of these. One place to live. We don't get to move to the moon if we mess this one all up. All right, so it starts with you. It starts with each one of us. All right, and I see lots of smiling faces here, excited to be here. Look at all these green bags are going to make their way to the grocery stores instead of taking plastic bags. There are parts of the country where they ban plastic bags. They don't even use them anymore. So that'll probably work its way here eventually too. So we got a good start up on that. Who already has a reusable bag at home? Cool, most of us do. Who remembers to take it each time? Yeah, I kind of do. That's the tricky part, right? If anybody has a good system on how to remember to get them back in your car, let me know, because that's a hard part. So, what you're here to see today, we were hoping to have 3 birds to show you, but the birds are still wild, even though we have them in our possession. And the osprey, if you don't know what an osprey is, there's actually 2 or 3 of them hunting around the lake right now. They hover over the water and they just plunge in like they've been shot, but they're diving for a fish. They spend winters in Argentina and come back here to nest in our area and further north. But the osprey that we were hoping to bring today was not cooperating, so we don't have a live osprey. The reason we wanted to show you a live osprey is because the proceeds from today's carnival are going to go towards bringing 4 baby osprey here this summer. And right out here, kind of out towards the corner of the bison pen, we're going to have what's called a hack tower. And so we're going to have the power company put in 4 poles for us. We're going to build a little, it's going to be an enclosure essentially on top of that, which will be a pretend nest for these baby osprey. And we'll have volunteers feeding the fish twice a day. And eventually when they get big enough to fly or fledge, we'll open up the front of that enclosure and they'll be able to take off and fly just like they're leaving the nest. But they'll still come back and land on the structure and feed. And what we're hoping is that these birds imprint or decide that this is a pretty cool place to raise a family when they're old enough. And then they come back when they're adults and maybe they'll build a nest around our lake somewhere. That's what we're hoping for. So it's going to be phenomenal viewing from our education center, because it's going to be right here close. You'll be able to see these guys very, very well. And we're very excited about that. It's the first year we're going to do this. So come back out. It's going to be in July. You'll see stuff in the paper and on the radio. And we'll be here doing these things every day. So if you want to come out, check it out from the building. We'll have scopes and binoculars. It's going to be a fun thing. So we were hoping to show you what an osprey actually looks like, if you're not familiar with that. But look it up, okay? An osprey. O-S-P-R-E-Y. The cool thing is they go down to Argentina and other areas in South America. They don't migrate the next spring. They stay down there all year, and it's the following spring. So it's about, they're 2.5. They come back up here as adults to nest here. And what's cool to me is that they've seen most of the Western Hemisphere by now, and they decide to come back here to raise their family, right back here in Iowa. To me, that's pretty cool. Gives us a neat sense of space. Like, wow, where we are is a pretty awesome spot. They could have stayed anywhere they wanted to the whole Western Hemisphere. They're going to come right back here to Iowa. So that's what's on the horizons here and what our carnival proceeds are going to be today. So thank you for your support on all that. All right, so a bird that we do have today, a real bird, snowy owl. Who has ever seen a snowy owl in real life? You are lucky. This last winter we had more snowy owls in Iowa than maybe ever before. Usually they are way up in the Arctic tundra, and that's where they nest. No trees, they nest right on the ground. So this is a bird that we have rescued, and This bird was actually hit by a car this winter, and his wing was just a little bit too injured to be able to fly as a wild bird. So now he is going to be a teacher, an ambassador. So I could stand up here and talk about owls and cool stuff all year, or all day, but he's got things to teach you that I never could. Okay, you want to take it? Sure. Absolutely. I'm not going to say anything for a few minutes. We're just going to let you look, okay? Just going to let you look. So this is a male snowy owl, and he's a young male snowy owl, not even 1 year old quite yet. And we can tell that by his coloring, which is a little bit unique in owls and other birds of prey, that usually by, about 1 year old, they're looking like an adult, so that's not unusual. But the fact that he's mostly white tells us it's a male. If he was a female, he would be much more heavily marked, a lot more brown markings on him. Okay, and so as he gets older and older, he's going to get whiter and whiter. So normally in Iowa, people that are kind of into birds and checking out unusual stuff in the bird world, we're excited if there's 4 or 5 sightings all across the state throughout the entire winter. This last winter, there was at least 4 sightings right here in Carroll County alone. Nearly 150 sightings around the state this winter. So it was quite the winter. And so we had a lot of them starving, a lot of them getting hit by cars, but that's kind of the nature of the beast. The reason they were here is because there was not nearly enough food up north. But if I stop there, that's only half the story. The reason there was not enough food is because there were so many snowy owls up there. And snowy owls kind of have as many babies as there is food available. If the mother has great nutrition and there's lots of food, she'll have more babies. If there's not very much food, she may not have any. They might only have 1 or 2. This winter, we think that they each pair up north had 7, 8, 10 babies. And so this fall, there's not nearly enough food for all those new snowy owls. And so they came south in search of food. And most of them that showed up here were young birds, young of the year. A few adults, but mostly young. And so they're new hunters, there's a new landscape. Our short bean stubble does kind of represent tundra a little bit. But there's not a lot of rodents in bean stubble compared to the short grasslands of the tundra. So it was tricky business for them. Okay? It's kind of nature's balancing act. Not always easy to accept, but part of it. Right? So this guy, he weighs about 3.5 pounds. The females are a little bit bigger as another difference. One unique thing about him is his feet are so heavily feathered. This is our heaviest owl in North America, the snowy owl. And not the tallest, but the heaviest. They've got a lot of bulk to survive that cold winter up north. If you've seen Harry Potter, Harry's male owl, right? It was actually a girl name, right, Hedwig, but it was a boy snowy owl in the movie. So what they love to eat is lemmings. And those are what their food was so plentiful, was lemmings this summer. There's lots of lemmings. And it could possibly be related to global warming and why there were so many up there. And that some of these tundra species like these and wolves and polar bears really start to show the effects of things like climate change and more extreme events. So that's kind of up to you to decide what you think about that. But we go on science a little bit around here, and that's the science is telling us that. So. I think we'll put them back because we'll have just 1 minute for any questions about it. Yes. What kind of injuries did the owl have? This one was hit by a car, and what happened when they were down here is they hunted roadsides a lot because the ditches have vegetation. There's a lot more rodent behavior, or rodent activity in the vegetated ditches compared to chisel plowed fields. So they hunted roadsides a lot, and so we did see several that were hit by cars this winter. Any other questions? Yes. What do they do? Where they live? They sit on the ground a lot because they don't hardly ever sit in trees because there's no trees in the tundra. You see them sit on fence posts. You see them sitting on top of power poles, and you see them sitting at the base of fences a lot. Sit on rocks out in the landscape. But a lot of times you just see them sitting on the ground. Yes. It can fly. To get here, it flew hundreds, maybe thousands of miles to get here, over 1,000 miles to get here. He cannot fly now. For one, he has leashes, or jesses they're actually called, straps on his legs, and I've got a hold of him. He can't get any lift. He couldn't fly very far if we let him go. He would die if we let him go. So he relies on us to take care of him. And when I say us, I should say Kay Newman. Has anybody seen or heard of Kay Newman? She has an organization called SOAR, Saving Our Avian Resources. These birds are hers, and she is a wildlife rehabilitator that takes care of birds of prey mostly. Just south of Dedham, right outside of Dedham. And she is an amazing person, dedicated to taking care of these animals. And when we get the eagle out here, we'll talk just a little bit about that too, because it is a hard job. You see a lot of not fun things. There's a few success stories like you're going to see in a minute, but it's a tough job. She relies on donations and things like that to get by. So this is the product of her hard work. Yes, sir. Typical lifespan of these guys, oh man, I think this is in the neighborhood of 10 to 12 years. Sometimes the bigger birds can live 15 to 20 years. In captivity, he'll probably live 20 years if we have the right conditions for him. So, one more, and then I'm going to move on behind it. Yes. Well, we'll talk about the eagle next. Just 1 second, okay? For the owl, how long did it take him to heal? His wing will always be broken just the wrong way. It already started to heal when we picked him up, and when they do that, you can't break them and refix them like that. Their bones are hollow, and it's really, really tricky business. All right, I'm going to put them back in the box just a second.
You're fine. Hopefully when I'm switching sides here, I'm not getting...
Pretty cool, right? Now, that's the kind of in-between story. Sometimes birds come in, they can't be fixed, and they're pretty badly injured, and they just have to put... This is kind of in between, not too badly injured, makes a great teacher, and we keep them around for that reason. Best case scenario is our next bird, and this bird has been... I'll tell you why we had in a second. But this bird has been fixed up, ready to be sent off to be a wild bird again. And the reason that this eagle was brought in is because it had lead poisoning. And we're working on lead poisoning issues right now. We know lead is terrible for us. We don't have it in paint and gasoline and all that kind of stuff. we're trying to work on fishermen and hunters right now, working on getting lead out of everything we do. So what happened was this eagle scavenged on most likely a dead deer, ingested just a tiny fragment of lead. And birds are very efficient, especially birds of prey, very efficient at using everything they eat. And it was very, very sick. And so there's chelation and all sorts of medicine. A lot of times these birds are past being fixed and they die a slow, miserable death. But this one was able to be fixed up. Okay? And so this is the awesome, awesome, awesome event. You guys get to see an adult bald eagle being released back into the wild. So very, very, very exciting stuff. Before we bring it out, do you have any questions that I may not have thought of right off the top of my head about the eagle? Yes. The eagles live in, she said, do the eagles live in big trees? They do, and they like to build nests in gigantic trees, especially cottonwoods. And the nest can be 5, 6 feet wide, 6, 8, 10 feet deep. Gigantic. Gigantic. Yes. A bald eagle is our regular eagle. We rarely get golden eagles here, but occasionally. It takes them about 5 years to get this white head and white tail. Okay, so this is at least a 5-year-old bird. Okay. Yes. How long do bald eagles live? They can live 25, 30 years. The record, yeah, 20s, a long time. Typically in nature, the bigger the animal, the longer they can live. Okay? You can use that as a rule of thumb. The eagle is making its way here. That's what we're doing right now. We're waiting for the eagle to make its way around. Other eagle questions? Yes. How big is their wingspan? Bald eagle's wingspan is around 7 feet. Very big, yeah, very big. When you see this bird, you're going to see it's got a gigantic hooked beak, and it's got huge, huge talons. Okay? Bald eagles have around 7,200 feathers. Here's how light their bones are. If you took a bald eagle all apart and made a pile of its feathers over here and a pile of its bones over here, its feathers weigh over twice as much as its bone. So that's pretty cool stuff how they're built. Now, the neat thing about being at an event like this is that this is a neat way to honor somebody by letting them release a bird. And especially a bald eagle, this is a very cool event. And today, what I'd really like to do, the folks here, we kind of thought about this. And the person that we really wanted to honor actually is somebody very special to me, and it's my dad. Come on over here, Dad. He's been a part of getting this carnival started. Back home, he did something similar with the group. Do you want to do this? Are you sure you're up for it?
I don't know if I got enough muscles.
This is a great dad, and he's been a big part of getting the carnival going. He's very supportive of him. They're here just about every year helping him and my mom both. And so I thought this would be pretty awesome if he got to have the honor of doing this. So what we're going to do, while they're working on kind of getting the bird back and forth, is... You have your phone? You have your phone ready?
Matt, talk about
lead?
Talk about what happened to this bird.
Lead. I talked about lead. Yep. You were talking about lead? You can plug it right in. This is a female. Let's talk about that. So she's a big bird weighing what? 11 and a half pounds. That's huge for a flying bird. So what we're going to do is, yeah, if you want to, let's do that. She's going to show you the bird just a little bit here, so you can see some of the gigantic features. Okay. Okay, she came from Dallas County, so not too far from here. This bird most likely will stick around Iowa. Most likely stick around here. We do have nearly 200 nesting pairs of bald eagles here in Iowa now, which is a huge conservation success story. When we banned DDT back in the 60s, 70s, they were a highly endangered species. And right now we're working on getting the lead out so they don't have that problem again. Okay, wow. It's pretty incredible that she made it through all this because Kay was just saying her lead levels were off the charts. She was having seizures and everything. Very, very, very sick. So Kay did a lot of work. Over $2,000 worth of medical treatments to fix her up. So that's something pretty phenomenal. Chelation injections, all sorts of icky stuff. So she is a success story. So we can certainly make a difference, right? She said since September, we've had 30 eagles come in with lead poisoning. Okay, 24 out of the 30 eagles that have come in have had lead poisoning. So that's a lot. So 19 out of those 24 did not make it through that process. Okay? So she's going to kind of move around here a little bit, and then we're going to transfer her out to be able to be let go. Okay, so
Yeah, and she's like, okay, I have had enough. I just really hope that, so very few of them survive lead poisoning, and I know that we don't find all of them that are sick. I know a lot of them die out there, and this is something that is completely preventable. People that hunt can easily switch over to non-toxic shot and copper slugs and copper rifle bullets. Those things would be, they work really well and they won't poison anything else. And so hopefully this will be a message, good message. All right, where's my victim?
Okay, so while they're kind of transferring over, we're going to play a song. It's by Ben Harper. Come here, buddy. Come here, Carroll. Okay. So we're going to play a song. This is by Ben Harper. It's called My Own Two Hands. If you haven't heard it, check out the message of this song. Okay, so we're just going to sit here, take it in, check out the eagle, and towards the end of it, we're going to send her off. All right? Make it a